What's up, everyone, and welcome to NSFW, an after-hours podcast that gives it to you straight about the new world of business. On this week's episode, we show you things that you can learn from The Walking Dead. And the next time someone tries to negotiate price with you, before you break out the barbed wire baseball bat, we'll give you some great sales rebuttals. If you're listening to this at the office, pop in those headphones because this is not safe for work. Welcome to the podcast. As always, I'm Jesse Rebuttal from Generations Beyond with Jesse Viola from APM Shipping Services. And sitting in for the Diva Dilietto today, who couldn't make it again, we have a substitute money man who also substitutes as our muscle man, Mr. Rob Cartelli, Mr. Kenny Powers himself.
Kenny fucking Powers.
So, Rob, what do you do?
I own Outstanding Plumbing, Heating, and Drain Cleaning.
And where's that located?
That is out of Smithtown, New York. However, we service the entire island.
Excellent, excellent.
And he always walks around with a brick of cash in his hand.
Always, yeah, you never know.
So, the hot topic in the business world this week is, oh my God, Glenn's finally dead on The Walking Dead. I know you're a fan of The Walking Dead. You gave up on it a while ago, but my question is, were you like a little washwoman, and did you go on social media and bitch about why you were leaving the show?
I don't go on social media and bitch about anything, ever.
So
if you were doing that, you're an asshole.
So we established this in a prior episode, how everyone's so bitchy on social media. I had half my friends on my friends list complaining about how too violent it was and it should have been censored, and I'm absolutely sure.
Did they unfriend you like they did when they found out you voted for Trump?
No.
He's not really voting. I mean, I don't know who he voted for. That's a joke.
I guarantee if rumor came out that the network was censoring the show, those same people would have been complaining about censorship. People just have to bitch about something. So, before we get into how this pertains to the business world, what were your thoughts on the finale?
I thought the finale was great.
Premiere.
Yeah, I thought the premiere was great.
You think, as a business owner, you could slide into Negan's spot, take over, and run the crew?
I could do a Negan, yeah. No, I could run that crew. I could run that crew. Yeah, I could be on the top of that chain.
So that's the plan for the apocalypse?
Yeah.
Take over.
Wait, but fill me in. I mean, briefly. We don't have to spend too much time. I mean, I gave up, but I know Glenn's dead, and I know Negan is Charlie. What's his fucking name? Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Yeah. So every season they run in with a new crew and
new villain.
New villain. They trust them, and turns out they're horrible human beings.
He eats people behind the scenes.
Yeah, exactly. So they got played last season. This new crew came in, and they basically cornered them. That was the finale. Like, this guy got pissed off.
Oh no, he's really bad.
Yeah, they took out some.
Cue the zombies.
They took out some of his guys.
That's why I gave up, man. I gave up.
So now, the big boss comes in. This guy was basically, he's the entrepreneur of the apocalypse.
This is Negan.
Negan. He has a crew. He has a system.
And he's got the bat. It's called Blue Steel, right?
Yep.
The thirsty bat.
Thirsty bat.
So he's got his crew running all, a bunch of sub crews that all give him offerings, and it goes up the chain.
So he's a big shot.
He's the new apocalypse economy runner.
Oh.
So
that's kind of cool.
It's very cool.
That's kind of cool.
Very cool. So Rob immediately called me up and said, "I could take over that role."
Now, is he anti-hero-ish?
Oh, absolutely.
Like, are there some aspects of him to where you're like, I kind of get it. Like, the guy's got to fucking do some crazy shit because we're all fucked up right
Look
now.
where we're at.
Exactly.
It's time to pull out the Negan.
Is he completely diabolical, or he's got some redeeming qualities?
He was pretty brutal on the finale, but it's explained very well.
Okay.
Like, he had to break Rick, who was their leader.
Yep.
He had to break him, and he had to be fucking brutal to break him. And he's like, "That's the look in the eyes that I was waiting for."
So at this point, Rick's broken.
Rick's broken.
See, but I quit 3 seasons ago. Rick's been broken a long fucking time.
But now he's busted.
Now he's busted.
So it got me thinking, how I was going to bring this into the podcast, into the business world. We talked about, people bitching on social media. And I think, everybody says you take a 10,000 foot view and then you get really granular. And how much more granular can you get than social media? It's like people's just inner little bitchings.
But I think the problem with social media is that it's 100% granular, 0% 10,000 feet.
Exactly.
There's no perspective.
the question is, at entrepreneurs, we were actually talking about this in Compel, and they were like, everyone's on this millennial kick, and they're like, you gotta get close with your employees, you gotta get in their life. Like, how close is too close? Because in any business, you get too close with your employees, and you're gonna hear the bitching, no matter how frivolous it is. Just like on social media,
if you have their birthdays on your calendar, they're too close. Right there. Somebody in your office should let you know when it's their birthday.
So where do you draw the line?
You know what? I have historically fucked myself with this thing many times, because my natural instinct is to be casual with people and to like give everybody the benefit of the doubt. But the problem is that, like, the only way to have a true friendship with, or that kind of relationship with an employee, is if that employee always, all the time, goes to a super high level of competence. And most people just don't work that way. Most employees aren't that type of person to where they give it to you 100% all the time, because the friendship can only truly begin after that. Because you're in the position where your ass is on the line, your money's invested, you live and die by this thing. They, if you let them go, they can go get another job. If the business goes out of business, they can go get another job. It's hard to really, really get close, because if you get too close, then they get comfortable, and it's happened to me very many times. They get comfortable, and then expectations, drop, and I've not had, maybe other people think differently. I've not had very good success with it.
I share the same opinion.
Yeah?
Yeah, no, you can't commingle it. You can be friendly, but there shouldn't be a friendship.
You have a very friendly, approachable attitude. I think it resonates in your corporate culture.
Yeah.
Is that different in the office than out of the office, as far as field workers, versus admins, or is it just across the board?
It's across the board, but I also set the bar with it. There's a level. You can only take it here, and then you're going to shatter it. After that, then we're done.
Like, no dick pics in the office.
Depends on the size. Yeah, depends, and I prefer
Snip, snip.
But more turtleneck on that.
I can vouch for that after today.
But it's we could be friendly, but you have to know, as an employee, I'm the boss. That's at the end of the day.
Yeah,
I'm
I think the respect level, always has to be there.
Yeah.
Me and Jesse were in a business group, and I just met with them last week, and they were talking. The millennials are the hot topic. Millennials are like, what can you do for me as an employee, as opposed to the olden days. And everyone in the room was like, "Oh, you got to meet them, and you got to give them this, and you got to do picnics, and you got to do that." And I probably have the most approachable corporate culture, out of everyone in the room. And I was like the opposite. I'm like, you got to pull away a little bit. Like, you got to pull away. And like, no one would have thought that I would say that. So I was just, I wanted to throw it up, on this episode to see if you guys had a line. Is it clearly defined? Is it just, kind of?
I look at it like a pyramid. The millennials, you got to give them this, you got to give them that. It's like taking a pyramid and tipping it on its top. It's going to fall over. It's just too much. It's too much.
So what do you do as a business owner?
You have to set that bar. That's the tone. That's the tempo here. I don't care about everything you have to say. That's why Facebook. In all honesty, that's why Facebook exists, because it goes back a couple of generations. Yeah, it goes back a couple of generations.
Put it on the computer.
My parents didn't say, where do you want to go to vacation? What do you want to eat? Now it's where do you want to go for vacation? And they think that every thought should just come out into the air. Shut the fuck up! Seriously, nobody wants to hear all this shit that crosses your fucking mind. You had too much cheese on a fucking pizza. I'm gonna go on Yelp and bitch about it. It's your fucking experience.
You know what's funny is that I always think about that. I don't. It's a double-edged sword, because I think that, like, the Yelp and that stuff is helpful when you're looking to go to a place. But I always think to myself, like, I've never walked out of somewhere and been like, "That's it, I'm going to Yelp and I'm taking these motherfuckers down." Like, I've never thought that.
It's your personal experience. It belongs to you. It doesn't belong all over social media. You know what I mean? And that's where it came from. But to answer your question, it's a bar that I set. I let everyone know you can only take me so close to you, and then we're gonna have a problem. Then we're gonna back up pretty far.
Right.
So that's what I do.
All right. So if you really like the show, you would do me a huge favor. by giving up on us and accompanying that with a 30-minute diatribe on Facebook as to why you're quitting our show. We'll be right back after this.
You're not gonna quit.
Go fuck yourself if you did. Seriously.
So, welcome back, everyone. Thanks for joining us. If you are an entrepreneur, you own your own business, guess what? You're a salesperson. No matter what you do, you are involved in some sort of sales for your business. So, what I want to do now is go around the room and go tell us your favorite sales rebuttal for someone trying to negotiate, says your price is too high, complaining about price. What do you got? We'll start with Jesse, and then Rob's going to take us off onto pricing.
So, in the packaging and shipping supply business that we have, it's a commodity market. It's a product that is not special. Lots of other people make it, and so everything we do is about price. So we really don't have a lot of value add and all that bullshit that fucking consultants say when we're in Compel and all that kind of crap. And so they're hitting you up from the start of the conversation all the way to the end. And when it gets really brutal, and I'll say you know what, and the guy's like, and I need it tomorrow. And I want to pay you in 6 months, and I want it, I want it as cheap as you can possibly get. I'm like, all right, listen. All right, I'm gonna give it to you for free. But when you call me, I'm not gonna answer the phone, and I'm not gonna deliver it. How does that sound? Take it. It's for nothing. You can have it for free. I'm just not gonna show up. Fuck yourself. And a couple of times I've given people a little, because it reaches a point to where it's ridiculous. Everybody needs to save money. Everybody needs to, have that feeling or that I'm getting the best market pricing as possible. You want to compare and you want to do your homework and you want to do that. But there are certain people that when they negotiate, their feeling is I only win when you lose. And when I recognize those people, the gloves come off, and I'm completely disrespectful. I'm more disrespectful than they are to me, because it's listen, I started a business so that I could, make a little bit of money and, live a good life and do it on my own terms. I didn't do it so fucking you could, put me in a fucking poorhouse and, and make my life miserable. So now that we have that established, fuck off.
Pretty cut and dry.
So Rob, why does it cost so much for to put heating unit in my house? Why is it so expensive?
I always ask people, well, what are you comparing it to?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Well, what are you comparing? Well, I thought when I showed up, you'd write a fucking check. I guess we're both wrong today. I get it all the time. Well, I thought it'd be 3,000. Really? Back in 1988, my boss was 3,000 then.
Yeah.
So you hit somebody with a price. Oh, it's 6,200. Oh, can you do better? I'm like, yeah, I can. 7,800. And I tell them straight on, I'm like, better for who? Better for you? No. Well, that was the best right there. Anybody else who came in and says, oh yeah, I can knock off 1,000 or anything, how much more do they have in there? You know what I mean? You give the customer the best price up front for what they want, like you're saying. It's not expensive to do the job. It's expensive to chase the fucking mutt who gives the job away. He's dodging your phone calls. The heat's not working. You can't get him back in. That's expensive, because we come back in and we're at 6,800 again. Same ballpark.
Sure, yeah. I mean, 5,800 and the guy doesn't show up, or it takes 3 months to do the job.
Yeah.
It's not 5,800.
Yeah.
You're 6,800. 1, 2, 3. We're done. We're finished. You got a warranty. It's a very different story. That's another thing too. People want, you can't have quick, fast, and cheap.
Cheap.
And all, you know what I'm saying?
They don't coexist in the same world.
You gotta pick.
Yeah.
You gotta pick.
And I ask clients all the time, what's the most important thing when you're making a purchase? Oh, the warranty. I say, okay, and I put the number on the table. It's 6,000. Oh, the other guy's 5,000. Well, let me see his paperwork. There's no warranty. I thought earlier you said warranty was the most important thing. How come now it's not? Because he's cheap, And then when you do apples to oranges, you give it like a 4-year warranty. It comes out to like 70 cents a day.
Right.
You telling me my warranty is not worth 70 cents a day? So, in order everybody goes into business, nobody knows how to be in business. Right. And that's what makes it difficult for a real businessman.
Sure.
That's my theory. You got guys in my trade, they're parking their truck in their driveway. It's illegal. They think you're they think they're the competition. And I show up. How much to do the job? Oh, it's $300 to do the job. Oh, really? So and so will do it for $130. It cost them $200 to do the job. You know.
Well, that's another thing that's in your business. Definitely, you compete against guys who have a van and call themselves Johnny's plumber, and the guy who owns the place is the guy who's driving the truck. Is the guys that's that you see that in a lot of industries.
If they're even licensed,
Yep.
if they're even
Yep.
insured. What most homeowners don't know is if it's their responsibility to make sure that the contractor they call in has the proper insurances to do the job that they're doing.
Sure.
Because your homeowner's insurance could walk away and say, "Fuck you."
Sure.
Now it's yours. That big pile of ash.
I
That's
mean,
yours.
I don't think there's anything wrong with negotiating, but both sides got to get.
Yeah.
So like in a lot of times with us, if a guy's really hitting me up for price, I mean, our standard world is people pay in net 30. Net 30 is always 45. But I say, a guy really wants a price. I say, all right, pay me when I show up. You want the hottest price that I have. You want me to work as cheap as I can possibly work.
Cash is king.
Give me, pay me right away. Pay me in 10 days. Pay me in 10 days, and I'll give you the sweetest price that there is. But you can't have it. You can't have it every way because, and I think, I find that like you said, real businessmen don't really act like that. The people that your business is like B2C, business to consumer. And I find it when I'm negotiating with an employee who is like a purchasing agent, who it's not their money on the line. They're just trying to go to their boss and show as good. And I understand their job.
As middle management, they're just looking to save.
I understand their job, and I don't begrudge them of it. But when it's one-sided, then it's no good.
Yeah. Yeah, but they don't know the cost of expense because they're an employee.
No.
Yeah, they have no
They
idea.
get the paycheck every Friday.
Yeah, they have no idea what it costs.
All of
their
my buyers
employer.
out there that we have good relationships, I'm not talking about you, so don't be leaving me, don't be getting upset. If we talk to each other normally and it's all good, I'm not talking about you.
Just pay what you're supposed to pay and pay it on time. That's what it comes down to. That's the simple world. Pay what you're supposed to pay and pay it on time. In my industry, we all pay about the same for labor. I pay a little bit more because all of my guys are background checked, drug tested, driver's license, the biggest thing. We don't just hire a derelict who knows how to do plumbing and put them out there, but we basically all pay about the same for labor. We all pay about the same for insurance. So about 42% of my cost goes to material and labor. About another 40-something% goes to overhead overall. Overhead means that when you pick up the phone, you're not going to get a cell phone. You actually get a person, 24 hours a day. That costs money. At the end of the day, if we shoot to make 10, 12%, that's what we're going after. That's not a lot.
No.
But the other guys who don't know how to be in business, and you can ask them, what's your cost of operation?
They don't know.
I don't know. And the first thing I say is, what does your wife do? Well, she works in the school. Yeah, I know she does. Yeah, I know she does. She's got the benefits too.
That van.
Yeah, she's got the benefits too, right?
Yeah,
so you're operating off a cell phone
yeah.
that's on your hip.
Yeah.
You would have had that phone on your fucking hip anyway.
Yeah.
So you have no cost.
Yeah.
So, what does it cost you to be in business? That's what separates a guy who's a hobbyist and a guy who's in business.
Sure.
You know exactly how many miles to a gallon it costs you a wear, tear, and to replace that vehicle.
Sure.
You know how many.
And you got to build all that shit in.
It's all got to be built in. Somebody's got to pay for it because I'm not going to do it because I need to practice.
No, you're not in business to lose money. You
No.
can't. As much as you want to make people happy and give them a good price,
Yeah.
you can't do it at your own peril.
Yeah, of course. And they always I always say, well, what are you comparing it to? Well, I don't make that a day. Go into fucking business. Go try it. Try going into business, and maybe you'll make that a day. All my technicians, and you can go up against anybody, any one of my customers, whether it be a cop, a fireman, a CPA, a lawyer, whatever it is. All my guys, they all get paid $30-something an hour, health benefits. They get a contribution to their 401k, sick days. All my guys get the same thing you get as a consumer. What do you think it's going to cost you?
Sure.
So I'll close it out with my favorite rebuttal. I'm lucky, probably the luckiest in the room, because when people hire me, they stand to actually make money. It's not, commodities and
Sure.
Stuff in your business. So in marketing, a grand slam is when you can tie into the caveman, right? Something so like primal, it's idiot proof. Like all those classic Don Draper scenes, like he just nails it into the caveman. So my favorite rebuttal is when someone's like giving me a hassle over price or saying how much is this going to cost me. I'll let them know like it's going to cost you X amount of dollars to work with me. It's going to cost you a lot more if your competitors work with me. And that just like
I like that. That's good.
locks it in. So
good.
if you can tie that in, people are sitting with you because they see a perceived value with you and your services. that perceived value goes to somebody else in their industry, it's a lot more valuable to them because you're taking all those leads, you're taking all that value you bring, and you're bringing it to their competitors and taking away from their market share. So think about that when you're in your next sales meeting, you're talking about price, you're in a negotiation. Anything to close out the show
No,
today?
but to talk about your business, it's
Sure.
something that I think about because when we've talked a lot about
Yep.
marketing,
Yep.
in the group and all kinds of stuff. Is that I think it's pretty funny that it just resembles all of the things that are wrong with a lot of today's business owners. A lot of like the older crowd is that if you have to invest in marketing to let people know who you are and what you're doing, right? How can you expect to give the littlest amount possible and get the maximum return?
Sure.
It's just stupid. You know what I mean? Like you get anything in life, you get what you put into it. Now, I mean, it doesn't mean that you should just spend away and at reckless abandon and throw money at a marketing guy. Although you'd be happy if people did that.
You should do that.
I mean,
Advice of the day.
Yeah. but it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Like, what's the cheapest I can pay you, Mr. Marketing Man? And now I need you to tell me that you're gonna make me $1 million in 6 months. It just doesn't make sense. Like, I don't understand who the kind of person that expects that kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, I deal with it all the time. We present they come to us, ask for our recommendations on how to get them to their goals. Here are my recommendations, and all right, let's cut the balls off it, and
they don't want to think about anything. They don't want to think. They don't want to participate. They just want you to press a magic button on the internet.
Gonna hobble your recommendations.
Yeah.
Go out, and then
Yeah.
in a month, I'm gonna bust your balls
Yeah.
for not working.
Yeah, you're the computer guy. Just go on Google. Make me on Google, and I'm we're gonna do it.
The Googles.
The Googles. What's this? The Facebook thing.
I use a similar spin-off to rebut sometimes.
Hit me with it.
So a lot of times people say, well, so-and-so could do it cheaper. And I say, but, or why so expensive? I go, well, my number's not expensive. Expensive is going to be having that guy do it.
Right.
And then chasing him and then having us come back in and redo it.
Yep.
That's
Sure.
going to get expensive.
Sure.
And it happens constantly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So tell us your best sales rebuttal in the comments below, and we'll talk about it in the next show. See you guys next time.
Tell them. If you don't like the podcast, don't fucking bitch about it. Just unsubscribe. Don't be a fucking sissy.
Don't be a sister.